Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now, I know I haven't actually uploaded a video for a few days. It's been a really weird sort of couple of weeks. I've been like so busy doing various things that I've just not managed to get time to get around to recording videos. So, you know, it's been a bit of an odd week. But we're back again. And today we're going to be revisiting a band I checked out about 3 years ago. It was a Puerto Rican thrash metal band called Calamity. Now 3 years ago I checked out a track of theirs called Guerreros, I believe. And I believe that stood for guerrillas, like mercenary sort of things. And I really enjoyed their music because they asked me, it was about 3 years ago, they asked me to have a look at the track off, it was a track that was coming off their upcoming album. And, I really liked it. I believe I actually did a review of their album as well, and it was a really good album. And yesterday they released a new track called Call to Me. And I thought, I want to have a look at that because I've not actually heard anything from them in the past 3 years, and I really enjoyed the track that I looked at, that Guerreros. So yeah, that's what I'm going to look at today. I do have lyrics for the song. They come directly from underneath the video on YouTube, so that's a good thing. So hopefully they should be accurate. Don't know what else I can say, so we'll just jump straight into the song and have a look. So Call to Me by Calamity. Let's have a look. Oh yes! interesting. Yes. Oh, that was brilliant. So that was Call to Me by Calamity. Fantastic piece of music. And one thing I love about this band is actually the vocal style. He's got the very specific sound and a very specific style that he sings in. It just sounds great, and it's immediately familiar. After listening to their first album, and like I said, I haven't heard anything from them in about 3 years, and when that album came out, I listened to it a lot. I haven't listened to it so much recently, which I really should, because having heard this track, it reminds me just how good their music was. And like I said, I like the vocal style used in their music. It just sounds amazing. Now, this song, there's possibly two things going on here. Now, the entire song seems to be talking about a feeling of loneliness and not belonging. And there's certain aspects of it, especially in the video, that suggest, maybe a depression. But it sounds like he's grateful for music. The video also hints at this. He's grateful for music as something that can always lift him up. Music can always make him feel better. But you could also, just looking at the lyrics, you could say, like, someone who's suffering from depression and isolation and having that one friend that they can reach out to, which in a way you could also compare music to. And it's something that I think this is a very universal sort of message with music, because music is, I believe music is a universal language that, no matter where the band's from, no matter where you are from, you can always relate to music. There's always that one piece of music that will make you feel better. There's people who, they get into really bad depressions and stuff, and they put on a certain piece of music, they vibe along to it, and it sort of lifts them up. It's like a friend that is always there. If you've got no one to talk to, you can put on the music and it'll immediately elevate your mood. And that's something I believe very, very strongly, because I think everybody can relate to, maybe just one piece of music. There might be certain piece of music, there might be a certain band that when you're in a certain mood, you put that piece of music on and you're immediately sort of swept away. And, with the visuals in the video, he was sort of laying there in his room, all those black hands that were sort of grasping at him, that sort of suggests the darkness or the depression that's sort of taking hold of him, the isolation, he's sort of becoming engulfed in darkness. And then it shows all these cuts of it shows the Metallica Kill 'Em All album. It shows CDs and cassettes and vinyls dotted around his room. And he's looking at all of these, and immediately he sort of, his mood within the video changes, so music is always there for him when he needs it the most. So, I like that. I think that's a brilliant. I think that's a brilliant concept. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I don't think it's one I've ever encountered so far on this channel. We've had many other songs talking about like mental health, depression, and stuff like that, and songs saying if you're in trouble, reach out to someone, talk to someone, this, that, and the other. But I don't think we've ever actually covered anything that turned around and said like music is your best friend in your time of need. I don't think we've ever covered something quite like that. I wouldn't say your best friend in time of need, but it is a friend that is always there. Something you can always rely on. Like if you're reaching out to a friend and they're not available, or they're too busy or whatever, you can always put on a piece of music and it'll help change your mood. It'll help calm you down. It'll help cheer you up, what have you. So first time we've covered that on this channel, and I think that is fantastic. And that's what, like I said, that's what the video suggests. But if you look at the actual lyrics, it seems to be talking about someone who feels isolated, alone, possibly depressed, and having a friend or someone to reach out to speak to. Because it goes, feeling like I'm far from home, I'm just trying to fit, but I don't belong. A part of me is used to feeling lost. So, just those three opening lines sort of gives you the idea of the song. It's like feeling like I'm far from home, so he feels like he's lost out in the middle of nowhere, doesn't know which way to turn. I'm trying to fit in, but I don't belong, which is, I think, something that everybody feels at least at one point in their life. And it's certainly something that I believe a lot of metalheads, especially from my sort of generation, can sort of relate to. Like when I was at school, when I first started school, there was 3 total metalheads in the school. That was me, my older brother, and his best friend. And obviously, because they were much older than me, they left school. So at one point, I was literally the only metalhead in the entire school. So, I didn't fit in. I didn't belong. I was constantly picked on, bullied. I was pretty much an outsider. So, it's something that is very relatable. A part of me is used to feeling lost, so you're sort of used to this sort of feeling, you grow accustomed to it, you grow isolated, you get depressed, you get miserable, you're used to having no one to talk to, you spend most of your time walking around on your own or sitting at home by yourself. So lost, so far away, so stuck within myself. But in my darkest days, I've heard a voice that said, call to me, I will answer thee. Ask, and you shall receive. Call, just call, I will answer you. Just keep calling, just keep asking me. So lost, so far away, so stuck within myself. Again, this is like I was saying before, so stuck within yourself because you're so used to being isolated and alone. You're so used to sort of being the outsider, if you will, that you're so used to being by yourself that you sort of fold in on you fold in on yourself, and you sort of become a bitch hermit, basically. But in my darkest days, I have heard a voice that said. So even though you're sitting by yourself and you're all alone, there's that one voice, that one sort of angelic call that says, look, just call, reach out, if you need me, I will be there. It says there, call to me, I will answer thee, ask and you shall receive. So, again, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, this could be like that certain specific someone who is always there for you, that one person who has stood by you in your time of need every single day, and I've been lucky enough to have that one friend, and she's been a tremendous friend to me. I refer to her as my surrogate sister, because she's the one person in my life who has been a constant. She's always been there when I've needed her, and it's always good to have that one person. But in the context of the video, this could mean the music, because it's always there. You've got those vinyls, those tapes, those CDs, so that music is always there, and when you really need it, you can put it on, you can chill, you can vibe, you can just relax, calm yourself, and cheer yourself up. Just call to me and I will answer thee. Just when you need me, I'm there, sort of thing. You know, so call, just call, I will answer you, just keep calling, just keep asking me. So, you know, as long as you need me, I'm there. Just keep asking me whatever you need, keep talking to me, keep communicating with me, you know, keep doing whatever it is you need to do, I'll help you. Fantastic. The time has come to hit the ground, time to face my solitude when no one's around. Deep into miry clay, cannot get out. And then it goes back into that, so lost, so far away, so stuck within myself. But in my darkest days, I've heard a voice that said, call to me, I will answer thee. Ask, and you shall receive. Call, just call. I will answer you. Just keep calling. Just keep asking me. So it says, you know, the time has come to hit the ground. Time to face my solitude when no one's around. So time to hit the ground, you know, time to hit the ground running. Time to put myself on firm ground, find my place, you know, figure out exactly where I am, you know, sort of concentrate and push forward sort of thing. Time to face my solitude when no one's around. So, you know, rather than sitting there, you know, dwelling in, you know, self-loathing or, you know, in misery and pity or whatever, you know, rather than sitting there being sad and miserable, you know, do something about it, put on that piece of music, call that friend or whatever, you know, face your solitude, you know, do something to combat that feeling of loneliness, whether it is listening to music, you know, or doing a hobby. Don't just sit there in your room by yourself doing nothing, you know, face up to it. Do something, you know, pull yourself out of that funk, as it were. So, yeah, I love the way this song is done. You know, like I said, I love the vocal presentation of this. You know, the vocal performance in this song is just fantastic. And then came the music. You know, it had that very sort of thrashy element. You know, I mean, it's not that particularly long of a song. And the first half of it, it's thrashy and it's got all those lyrics. But then the second half, entirely instrumental and has some quite changing moods. You know, because it went from the thrashy bit, then it went into that really sort of heavy, chunky, sort of really filthy sounding set of riffs that just, they were lovely. It was brilliant. And then it went into that really sort of melodic and sort of beautiful guitar work, you know, which, you know, the deep chugging sort of thing could indicate, you know, that loneliness, the despair, you know, that solitude, you know, falling into yourself sort of thing, you know, and then into that sort of light, airy, melodic stuff, you know, could be, you know, the switch from, you know, when you put on that music or when you reach out to that friend and that's your mood lifting and changing and, you know, coming back out of yourself and facing that loneliness, you know, because it showed him looking at himself, you know, and, you know, he was sort of facing up to that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. You know, the video speaks volumes in conjunction with the lyrics. You know, the lyrics on their own you could easily interpret as, you know, someone who's sad, depressed, reaching out to a friend, you know, and that friend saying, you know, whatever you need, I'm always there. But in the context of the video, you know, adding that element where he's looking around at all his music collection and then sort of cheers up, you know, it adds that element of, you know, music is that friend that's always there. And I really like that. Like I say, it's not something I think we've ever covered on this channel before, and I like it. And, you know, I said it 3 years ago when I first checked out this band. You know, I really like this band. They sound great. You know, their musical talent is amazing. The vocal performance is just unbelievable. You know, I love it. I think it's great. And I'm so glad that you know, this song popped up on my recommended feed because, you know, I'd forgotten just how good this band was. And of course, you know, I had their CD and when my ceilings fell through, I lost that CD. In fact, I lost my entire CD collection. But anyway, that's beside the point. You know, fantastic piece of music. I thoroughly enjoyed this track. I really want to hear more from this band again. You know, I'm going to have to go back and listen to that album that I had before because I've still got it encoded on my computer. I just miss the CD, and you know, I like having physical discs. I don't like digital downloads. I like physical discs. But anyway, yeah. So, what more can I say about that? I don't think there's much more I can say about that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and maybe even subscribe if you're not already, because it does help me out quite considerably with the channel. And, yeah. Can't think of anything else to say, so thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.